I was painting a model destroyer when the phone rattled the bottle of gray on my workbench. Brookfield High flashed on the caller ID, and a knot cinched tight in my gut, the kind of dread only a parent knows. A nervous secretary said there'd been an incident in the cafeteria. My daughter Lily was okay. The way she rushed those words told me everything. I yelled for my wife, Emily, and we moved. No panic, just practiced action, like we'd drilled for the worst day and hoped it would never come. The drive took 5 minutes that felt like a march. I kept my hands at 10 and 2, breathing even like the Corps taught me. Emily texted one person, our son Logan, an active-duty Marine home on a short leave. Code red. Lily. School. He didn't text back. He never does when the message is that short. He shows up. Inside the cafeteria, conversation died to a hush. Trays were scattered, milk pooling on tile. Lily sat rigid on a bench, chin high, hands trembling. A few feet away lay the wreckage of her custom titanium chair. One wheel bent like a broken rib, spokes snapped, frame warped. 3 boys in football jerseys hovered, their fear curdling into bravado. The one at the center wore a smirk that didn't reach his eyes. Chase, son of Paula Whitmore, queen of the Maple Ridge HOA and self-appointed sheriff of Lawn Heights and mailbox distances. I knelt in the spilled milk and asked Lily if she was hurt. I'm okay, she whispered. They pushed it. For fun. My anger coiled, hot and alive, but I stayed with my daughter. Then the cafeteria doors darkened with a single shadow, and the room flatlined. Logan, still in dress blues from a recruiter stop, filled the doorway like an unmoving statue. He said nothing. He didn't have to. Phone slipped into pockets. Chase's face blanched. Logan gave me the smallest nod. I'm here. I have your back. We ended up in the principal's office. Principal Owens, a soft-spined man with a coffee stain on his tie and the permanent look of someone apologizing for the weather. With him sat Paula Whitmore, composed as a catalog page. Hair perfect, jewelry tasteful, smile weaponized. She cooed about an unfortunate kerfuffle, offered to help with repairs, and called it an accident. Emily quietly opened a notebook. The pen began to fly. I said what it was, assault. Owens fumbled something about student privacy and FERPA and why they couldn't look at student phones. Paula leaned in, dispensing policy like perfume. Then she dropped her real power. A printed violation from Maple Ridge, porch storage for a temporary loaner chair. Harmony matters here, she murmured. Translation, step out of line, and we'll make your life small. We went home in silence. Lily rolled in a clunky loaner chair that squeaked with every inch, humiliation in every sound. Emily turned the dining table into a command center, files, names, a timeline. I tried to bleed off fury the only way I knew. Operation Annoyance. At 5 a.m., my gas leaf blower howled righteous noise beneath Paula's bedroom window. At noon, I read the covenants and filed an anonymous complaint about her very visible satellite dish. That night, a prank, for sale. Reason, tyrannical HOA, sign sprouted on her perfect lawn. She hit back with artillery. A $200 citation for a 3-square-foot patch of grass allegedly a quarter-inch too tall, measured, no doubt, with a ruler and malice. Then a tow truck snatched my pickup for a mailbox clearance violation in front of my own house. The driver played a voice memo with Paula's complaint. The joke was over. She turned institutions into weapons and painted me as the problem. An official letter followed. A Maple Ridge board hearing in a week to censure me for disruptive behavior. A kangaroo court with Paula holding the gavel. I went back to the school to find truth in person. In a side hallway, Chase and his goons tried to box me in. He shoved my chest, testing. Training locked my muscles, but not like he wanted. I absorbed it, unmoved, and met his eyes with cold, disciplined stillness. Somewhere a camera blinked its little red light. He flinched and backed off. He'd expected rage or fear. He didn't understand restraint. He ran. That night, I poured it all out at home. How close I'd come to breaking that restraint. Emily listened, then showed me what she'd built. Witness names with notes, dad on school board, mom is a lawyer, close friend, willing to write statement. A folder labeled Project Justice, before and after clips from students too scared to go public, but not too scared to airdrop snippets of truth. A public records request for security logs, heavily redacted but with one line circled. Corridor 7B504, motion detected, timestamp matching my hallway standoff. The school itself had logged proof something happened and hid the video under administrative review. Then the crown jewel, an email from Paula Whitmore to Principal Owens an hour after the cafeteria incident, sourced by a district IT friend with whistleblower protections. Handle this internally. Frame it as an accident. We can't afford noise before the homecoming donor push. There it was, a clean line from cover-up to money. We still needed the centerpiece, the unedited clip. Emily pointed to a face in a photo. JV jersey, phone raised, not laughing, Evan Brooks. On the team, always on the edge of the group, always looking like he wished he wasn't there. He's the weak link, Emily said. He has it. Surveillance in Maple Ridge looks like 2 lawn chairs on a back patio facing the greenbelt. My neighbor, Mr. Howard, shuffled over with 2 beers and a police scanner, conspiratorial grin under a battered ball cap. We watched through soft darkness until a hooded kid slipped out of a sedan and stuffed something into the Whitmore mailbox before speeding away. The hood fell back as he turned. Evan. My stomach sank. Had he delivered the evidence to the enemy? The next morning, we found Evan at the city park where he volunteers with T-ball, as his profile said. After practice, Lily rolled up with a compliment, not an accusation. He cracked, not from pressure, but from shame. He said Paula threatened his spot on the team and his future if he didn't delete the video and bring her his phone's memory card as proof. I put the card in her mailbox, he said, misery in every syllable. Then he looked up with a flicker of courage. I made a copy first. He handed me a flash drive with trembling fingers. Do the right thing, he whispered, like a prayer. We had the truth and a clock. Homecoming Friday. Emily traced the money. The lead donor was Richard Ellison, founder of Ellison Builders, plastered across half the county's plaques. His company was the sole bidder for the new stadium. Donation in, contract out, favor returned. Paula got power and maybe more. A scandal now would spook Ellison and collapse the deal, and with it, Paula's crown. That explained her ferocity. My instinct was to blast the video online. Emily shook her head. They'll call it doctored. They'll bury us in lawsuits. Smear Evan. Smear Lily. We need a forum they think they control. She smiled. The Maple Ridge hearing. Her stage. Her trap. We spring it on her. That afternoon an HOA email pinged. Agenda enhancement. Representatives from Ellison Builders would attend for a final presentation before homecoming. Paula was doubling down, rolling a victory lap into my public shaming. She would seat Richard Ellison in the front row and crown herself in his glow. Perfect. I called Logan. We need the projector when it counts. He didn't ask how. Roger that. Time on target. The community center overflowed. Maple Ridge turned out for what Paula framed as prosperity. She opened with clipped politeness and an obituary for my character, painting me as a nuisance with a leaf blower and a bad attitude. I could feel faces turn. I breathed and waited. Logan, in a plain polo and slacks, drifted to the AV booth with a volunteer badge for the Ellison presentation and a calm confidence that made people step aside without realizing it. Richard Ellison took the mic and sold blueprints, the glory of Friday night lights in glossy renderings. The room hummed with approval. Paula returned to the podium, radiant. Before we vote to endorse this wonderful project, any final questions? I stood. One for Mr. Ellison, I said. Are you aware the project you're funding, and the community leader fronting it, are involved in covering up a violent assault on a disabled student? The room erupted. Paula slammed the gavel, shrieking about order, about me being out of line, about proof. Actually, I said, turning toward the back, meeting Logan's eyes, we have proof. The renderings vanished. Black screen. Then cafeteria tile. Laughter. Chase's voice. Watch this. The shove. The crack of metal. Lily pitched aside. High fives. Silence, so complete you could hear a shame breathe. The clip ended, and the screen stayed dark like a closed eye. For 3 heartbeats, no one moved. Then the crowd inhaled as one organism. Paula's face folded. Richard Ellison stood, packed his briefcase, and walked out without a word. The room turned, not with confusion, but with anger that had needed only a fuse. Paula grabbed the mic and threatened lawsuits, her voice pitched and shrill. No one flinched. By morning, dominoes met gravity. The district suspended Chase and his 2 accomplices pending expulsion. Juvenile charges, battery and property damage, with court-ordered service hours in adaptive sports. Principal Owens went on administrative leave as the board probed the privacy stall. The Maple Ridge Board, newly reminded the bylaws are not cudgels, voted in an emergency session to remove Paula Whitmore as president and censure her for abuse of power. The clubhouse locks changed the same day. Her name evaporated from the HOA website. A real for sale sign rose on her lawn a week later. Not my prank. The real end of an era. Our house exhaled. The dining table became a table again. My destroyer got its final coat. Lily didn't gloat. She thought. That loaner was awful, she said one afternoon. What about kids who never get the custom chair, or the ramp, or the software? She spun her laptop toward us. Lily's Aid Fund, small grants for students with disabilities in our district. The copy had no pity, only purpose. Emily and I made the first donation. Then the town showed up, $10 from a classmate, $50 from a teacher, $1,000 from a business that hated the HOA games. Mr. Howard became a one-man street team, a wrinkled envelope bulging with cash and names in shaky handwriting. Saturday night, our doorbell rang, and half the block crowded our porch with a lopsided sheet cake and a bottle of budget champagne. Frosting, hooray for the Carter team. That's me, Jack Carter, which I should have mentioned sooner. Laughter filled the rooms Paula had made quiet. In the corner, Lily rolled in her brand-new chair. Insurance finally relented. Watching donations tick upward, her smile steady and real. Logan FaceTimed from base, lifted a mug, and said 2 words that meant everything. Mission accomplished. The board announced new policies. The school posted an anti-retaliation pledge. Parents learned the difference between privacy and secrecy. Kids learned cameras don't blink and truth, once seen, doesn't go back in its box. The roses on Maple Ridge lawns went back to being just roses. The community center projector cooled to a normal piece of equipment instead of a battlefield. And me? At 12:47 p.m., I sat in the garage again, brush steady over steel gray hull plates, phone buzzing with a link from Lily, another grant funded, another ramp installed, another kid moving forward because this time the truth didn't get talked to death in a back office. We'd won a fight and built something from the wreckage. People ask if I'm satisfied Paula is gone, if I feel vindicated about Chase, if I'd do it the same way again. Here's what I know. Power bullies. Proof endures. Emily gathered the facts. Logan secured the ground we needed. Evan did the brave thing after he'd done the easy one. Lily turned a brutal day into a door for others. And me, I learned the hardest discipline isn't throwing a punch. It's holding your ground until the truth is loud enough to stand on its own. So here's the ending, clear and simple. Maple Ridge is quieter now. Brookfield High learned what accountability sounds like on a speaker. Ellison Builders found other projects. Our stadium will come in time, honestly, or not at all. The wheelchair that mattered most was replaced, and a fund that shouldn't have been necessary now exists to make sure fewer kids go without. We keep the flash drive in a drawer, not as a trophy, but as a reminder. We didn't just take down a bully. We built a standard. And wherever someone tries the old trick, dress a lie in policy and call it harmony, we'll be there with the same plan. Gather the proof, pick the ground, and say it plain. That's how we finish this. That's how we'll face the next one.